Sabbath service. So we're going to start. So it's the I.S.U.P.K. We do have a school in the UK. The address is 394 Lodge Road, postcode B18 5PW. So with that, we're going to start. Stand and face east. Send up prayer. Let me know if you can hear me now. Thawada Arman, and in the English, bless you Yahweh and Yahweh Shai and Michael and the angels, commanding General YAHANNA, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. Psalms 121. Asha'a Ayanya Al Hahayim Ma'ayan Yaba'a Isaiah Ma'ain Yahweh Aisha Shemayim Wa'aratza Al Yathan Lamawat Regalka Al Yanawam Shemaka Hanala'a Yanawam Wala'a Yayashan Shawama Yashra'ala Yahweh Shemaka Yahweh Tazalka Al Yad Yam Yanka Yawamam Hashamash La'ayakayaka Wayarak Balayala Yahweh Yashamaka Mekal Rai Yashama Afnapashka Yahweh Yashama Ataza Afka Waba wa Ayaka Ma'aith wa Aid Iwalam. Amen. And in the English, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. So be it. Psalms 83. Alahayim, Al Damayalaka, Al Thakarash, Wa Al Thashakwat, Al Kayahana, Awab Yaka, Yahama Yawan, Ra'ash, Al Aimaka, Ya'ira Yomwa, Sawada, Wayatha, Ya'ai Tazawo, Al Tazapawanyaka, Amawa, Lakawa, Wanakakidam, Mogaya, Wala'a, Yazaka, Shum Yashra'ala, Iwada, Kaya, Nawa'ai Tazawo, Laba, Yakadwa, Al Yaka, Bayath, Yakarathwa, Alahaya, Adawam, Wa Yashama Aliyam, Mawa'aba, Wa Hagayam, Gabal, Wa Aimawan, Wa Aimalak, Palashaf, Aim Yashabya, Tazawo, Gum Ashawo, Nailawa, Aimam, Hayawa, Zarawai, Labanya Lawat, Salah, Aishalaham, Kamadian, Kasaya Sarah, Kayabyan, Banakal, Kwayashwan, Nashamadwa, Bayandara, Hayawa, Daman, La Adama, Shayathamwa, Nadar Yabmawa, Ka'irab, Wakazahaba, Wakazabak, Wakatazal, Manai, Kal Nasaya Kamwa, Ashar, Amara, Nayarisha, Lanawa, Af, Naawaf, Alahayam, Alahaya, Shayathamwa, Kagalgala, Kakwash, Lapanya Raka, Kaash, Thabaiya Yaira, Wakalahaba, Thalahat, Hayim, Kantharadatma, Basa Iraka, Wabasa Wapafka, Thabalaham, Mala'a, Panyaham, Kwalawan, Waya Bakwashwa, Shamka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Waya Baalwa, Aid Ya'aid, Waya Kapawa, Waya Abadwa, Waya Da'aiwa, Kaya Atha, Shamka, Yahawa, Labarka, Al Yawan, Al Kaha Arataza, Aman. And in the English, keep not thou silence, O Yahweh, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederates against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabor, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined with them. They have hope in thee, children of Lot, Selah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Horeb, and like Zayeb. Yea, all their princes as Zabah, and as Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of the Most High in possession. O Yahweh, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth for wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Yahweh. Let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the Most High over all the earth. So be it. All right, and then the curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses, and punishments and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses, and punishments and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishments and destruction to the Edomites and the nations and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Posse Comitazi, the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space programs, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Streets, open up the internet and the airways, the cable access channels, and the radio channels. Convict these spirits of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh, Michael, and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh, thank you. So be it. So with that, you're going to be seated. So we're going to be seated. We're going to get into stuck here 1 second. All right, so we're going to pick up where we left off from last week. Genesis 6, I believe it was. 7, probably 7 actually. Let me get there. 7, Genesis 7. Yeah, 7 and 15. So Genesis 7 and 15. Waya ba'awa al nak al ha kaba shanayam makal habasha asha bawa rawak kayayam wahabayam zakah wana kwaba makal basha ba'awa ka asha tazawa athawa alahayim waya saga Yahweh ba'ai dawa 17 waya haya hama bawal Arab ayam Yawam, Ayul, Ha'arataza, Waya, Rabawa, Hamayam, Waya, Shah, Awa, Af, Hatha, Ba'a, Wa, Tharam, Ma'ayil, Ha'arataza, 18. Wayaga, Wayagaba, Rawa, Hamayam, Wayara, Bawa, Ma'ad, Ayul, Ha'arataza, Watha, Wathalak, Hatha, Ba'a, Ayul, Panya, Hamayam, 19. Waya, Ma'ayam, Gabawa, Ma'ad, Ayul, Ha'arataza, Waya, Kasawa, Kal, Haha, Rayam, Haga, like Hagabayam, Ashar, Thakaf, Kal, Thashar, Mayam. Verse 20. Kamash, Shara, Amar, Mala, Ma'ai, La'a, Labawa, Hamayam, Laya, Kasawa, Haha, Rayam. 21. Waya, Gawai, Kal, Bashar, Haramash, Ayul, Ha'arataza, Ba'ai, Wa, Baba, Amar, Wabak, Yaha, Wabakal, Ha-Sharataza, Ayul, Ha'arataza, Wakal, Ha-Adam. All right, so from Genesis 7, and we're going to start from verse 15 now in the English. All right, Genesis 7 and 15 in the English. And they went in unto Noah into the ark, 2 and 2 of all flesh, wherein is the breath of life. So this is before the Most High made the flood happen. So now the animals, they're going in 2 by 2. You know what I mean? And these animals are alive. That's why they got the breath of life in them. So all things that are going to be preserved alive, these are going into the ark before the flood. And they went in a male and female of all flesh, as God had commanded him, and the Lord shut him in. So meaning once Noah, his wife, his sons, and their wives went in the ark, along with all them animals, the Lord shut them in, man. The Lord made sure that door doesn't accidentally open, that, you know what I mean, something happened. The Lord protected them. the Lord shut them in. 17. And the flood was 40 days upon the earth, and the waters increased and bear up the ark, and it was lift up above the earth. So meaning that flood that the Lord sent, it eventually lifted up the ark. Now, in your own time, the Bible lets you know the measurements of the ark. So it is very big. It's bigger than, like, if you watch a football game, that arc is as big as that pitch. And not to mention weight. Size is one thing, but size comes with the weight. And that flood was that rough. It was able to bear up the ark. And the waters prevailed and were increasingly great upon the earth. So what does the word prevailed mean? It means if you prevail means you win. So the water was winning on the earth. So meaning on the earth, there's parts where water shouldn't reach. Those waters prevailed. They got places where water shouldn't go. Why? Because the Lord made the waters prevail. Reading on. Yeah. And the ark went upon the face of the waters. 19. And the waters prevailed exceedingly upon the earth, and all the high hills that were under the whole heaven. So imagine that the highest hills, the waters prevailed against that too. So you imagine your highest mountain you can think of, the waters prevailed. So no man could go, well, I'm gonna escape this flood. I'm gonna just, find me a nice high mountain, and when it's all said and done, I'll survive. It wouldn't have worked, because then waters prevailed even over the highest of mountains. Hills that were under the whole heaven were covered. 15 cubits upwards did the waters prevail, and the mountains were covered, and all flesh died that moved upon the earth, both of the fowl and of cattle and of beast and of every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth, and every man. So the Lord, he made sure that water was high enough to kill everything besides what was in the ark. And that shows you that the Lord, he is no joke. To drown is a very brutal form of death. Imagine this. You ain't got no air. You breathe to get air. And what happens with the water? You're inhaling that into your lungs. That is a very brutal way to die. And the Lord made that happen. Because the Lord ain't no joke, man. When he's angry and you hurt the Lord can hurt you. And this is what we are reading about right now. Us being the sons of God, we knew better, but we didn't do better. And we aggravated the Lord, and the Lord hurt us. verse 22, all in whose nostrils was the breath of life, of all that was in the dry land died. You know what I mean? So all that was on the dry land, they died. So I'm going to give you a little breakdown. You know, many people, they don't believe that the whole earth was under a flood. You know, many people believe that Noah's Ark is a myth, because some parts of the earth, you dig deep, you don't find anything that shows a flood and then mankind underneath it. And this part is key. It says, of all that was in the dry land died. So the context is the earth ain't the whole globe. It's just where mankind was. So where mankind was, that's where the Lord flooded. It's not the whole globe, India and Japan. Where mankind was, you know what I mean? Where they was dwelling and etc. That's where the flood happened and it killed mankind, except to man, his wife, his family, and their wives. Back in the last one, Kudash. All right. Where am I? All right. Genesis 7 and 23. What Wayamak Af Kal Haya Kwawam Ashar Ayel Panya Ha'ad Ma'adam Aid Ba'amah Aid Ramash Wa'aid I.W.A.P Hashemayim Waya Makawa Mana Ha'aratza Waya Sha'ar Ak Nak Wa'ashar Athawa Bath Ba'a 24 Wayaga Bawa Hamayim Aid Ha'aratza Ka Mashayim Wama Af Yawam. So now in Genesis 8 and 1. Waya Zakar Alahayim Af Nak Wayaf Kal Hakar Yaha Wa'af Kal Haba Hama Ashar Athawa Batha Ba'a Waya Ba Alahayim Rawak Ayul Ha'aratza Waya Waya Shakawa Hamayam. Verse 2. Wayasak Rawa Ma'ai Yanak Ma'awam Wa'a Rabath Hasha Mayam Wayakal Hagasham Mawa Hasha Mayam. Verse 3. Waya Shabathwa Hamayam Ma'ayel Ha'aratza Halawak Washa Waba Wayak, Sarawa, Hamayam, Makwataza, Ka Mashayam, Wama'ath, Yawam, Watha, Wathanak, Hatha Ba'a, Bakadash, Hasha, Ba'ai Yawa, Basha, Ba'ai, Aisha, Yawam, Lakadash, Ayel, Haraya, Ararat. Verse 5. Waha, Mayam, Hayawa, Halawak, Waka, Sawara, Aid, Hakadash, Ha'ai, Shaya, Raya, Ba'ai, Shaya, Raya, Ba, Ba Akad, Laka, Lakadash, Narashwa, Rasha, Ra'ashya, Haha, Rayam. So back in the English. And every living substance was destroyed, which was upon the face of the ground, both man and cattle and creeping things, and the fowl of heaven. They were destroyed from the earth, and Noah only remained alive, and they that were with him in the ark. And the waters prevailed upon the earth 150 days. So 150 days, man, of that flood water being upon the earth. So you can swim if you want to, but what happens when you're in a cold water too long? You die of hypothermia. So even if you wanted to swim in that flood, 150 days of that flood water, you were going to die of the cold, man. If you was to swim in the Atlantic right now, you would die. I mean, if you didn't return back onto dry land, you would die. It wouldn't be, you can just swim and eventually you'll be fine. That cold water, the temperature, it would take your life. That is a fact. So, the Lord made sure nobody survived. Genesis 8:1. And God remembered Noah and every living thing and the cattle that was with him in the ark. And God made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters assuaged. I look at the word assuaged. I did go over this a while ago. I'll get the definition. Assuaged. Let me get it. Okay, assuage just means dried up. So the wind started to dry up the rain or the waters. So, the Lord sent strong winds to knock the waters off the dry land, is what it's saying. And when it says, and God remembered, it doesn't mean God forgot. you know, you got Muslims out there and they like to use things like this. But it says God remembered. You look at the word remember, it means marked. So meaning after a while, God marked that, you know what, it's time for Noah and his family to come out the ark. Then he sent them winds. It doesn't mean God forgot. And then, you know, it's like, oh, Noah, oh, yeah, he's in the ark. Yeah, it don't mean that. Remembered in some contexts, if you look it up, it just means marked. That's all it means. Verse 2, the fountains also of the deep and the windows of heaven were stopped. So what are the windows of heaven? It's the skies, meaning they stopped bringing down rain. And the rain from heaven was restrained, and the waters returned from off the earth continually. And after the end of the 150 days, the waters were abated, meaning after those 150 days, the water was getting drained off the earth, man. Those strong winds were knocking the floods off the dry land, or what was meant to be dry land. And the ark rested in the seventh month, on the 17th day of the month, upon the mountains of Ararat. And, you know, I'm going back about 4 years ago, you know, the I.S.U.P.K. We did a lecture on this. And even archaeologists, they know that Noah's Ark is in the mountains of Ararat, which would be in the country of Turkey, you know, and, you know, they've done as much as they could, and they can confirm that that they have found remainders of the ark. And even, like, you know, people that live around it, they also know that historically that is Noah's Ark. So you have people, they live in villages in the mountains of Ararat, and those sites that you see, even them living there, they always have known that that is Noah's Ark. And there's also ancient historians that they say it too, and they confirm that even thousands of years ago, when a man with a boat wanted to have a safe journey, he will go into the mountains of Ararat and even take a piece of the wood from the ark and have it around his neck for like a good luck charm. That is in history too. So, you know, Noah's Ark is real, and archaeologists can confirm it too. All right. Ararat, and the waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the first day of the month, were the tops of the mountain seen. So these strong winds, they didn't just knock all the flood water away in one day. It happened gradually, so gradually that the wind, in a space of a month, you only saw the top of a mountain. So the whole earth, all the flood water wasn't gone yet. Right, back in Genesis 8 and 6, Wayahaya, Makwatazar, Arab, Ayam, Yawam, Wayapathak, Nak, Af, Kwal, Qualwam, Haba'a, Asha, Aisha, Wayashalak, Ath, Ha'ai, Ha'irab, Wayatazar, Yatazar, Wa'a, Washa, Waba, Aid, Yabashath, Hamayam, Ma'ayil, A'aratazar, Wayashalak, Ath, Haya, Wana, Ma'athawa, Lara, Watha, Hakwala, Hamayam, Ma'ayil, Panya, Ha'adama. Verse 9. Wala, Matazah, Ath, Haya, Wana, Manawak, Lakap, Ragala, Wathashab, Al Yawa, Al, Ha'ath, Ba'a, Kaya, Mayam, Ail, Panya, Kal, Ha'arataza, Waya Shalak, Yadawa, Wayakwak, Wayaba, Ath, Alahayawa, Al, Mathaba, Wayakal, Aid, Shabayath, Yamayam, Akrayam, Wayasap, Shalak, Ath, Haya, Wana, Man, Hatha Ba'a, Wayaba, Alahaya, Waya Wana, La'if, Aiba, Wayana, Ayul, Zayaf, Tarap, Bapaya, Wayadai, Nak, Kaya, Kwalawa, Hamayam, Ma'ayul, Ha'aratza. Verse 12. Yayakal, Iwad, Shaba'if, Yamayam, Akrayam, Waya Shalak, Af, Haya Waba, Wala, Yatapa, Shawaba, Layawa, Aid. All right, so in the English, Genesis 8 and 5. Genesis 8 and 5. And the waters decrease continually. No, 8 and 6, my bad. And it came to pass at the end of 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made. And he sent forth a raven, which went forth to and fro until the waters were dried up from the earth. So what's he doing here? he doesn't know if the flood is over. So what he's doing is he sends a raven out. So now, if the raven finds dry land, the raven won't return. But if the raven comes back, the only reason why the raven is coming back, because it needs somewhere to rest. It needs dry land, and the only form of dry land is the ark. So the raven will return if there is floods of water still upon the earth. Also, he sent forth a dove from him to see if the waters were abated from off the face of the ground. But the dove found no rest for the sole of her foot, and she returned unto him into the ark, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth. Then he put forth his hand and took her and pulled her in unto him into the ark. And he stayed yet another 7 days, and again he sent forth the dove out of the ark. So for him to find out if the flood water is gone, he's just sending out the raven first and the dove. And because they are returning, that lets him know that, look, the flood waters are not drained from off the earth. Yeah. And the dove came into him in the evening, and lo, in her mouth was an olive leaf plucked off. So Noah knew that the waters were abated from the earth. He stayed in yet another 7 days, and sent forth the dove, which returned not again unto him anymore. So once that dove didn't return anymore, that's when Noah knew it's time to leave the ark. So next week we'll be in Genesis 8 and 13. And we'll definitely get more into Noah's Ark. So with that, I'm Madium. We're going to rise and face the east. Lord's Prayer. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malakwavka, Thabaa, Ratazayaka, Haya, Aisha, Ba-Rataza, Kawo, Haya, Ba-Shemayim, Nathundanawa, Lakam, Kal, Yawam, Wasalaknawa, Kabawafnawa, Kasalaknawa, Kabawafyanawa, Wala'a, Thabaya'ayanawa, Bandasayawan, Abod, Hawashainawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwaf, Waha'ala, Wahathapara, La'aiwalamyam, Aman. And in the English, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. So be it. Haka, the power, Yahweh, Ba Hashem Yahweh Shai, Baba Kushar, Nafan Lanawa, Haka, Lara Pa'a, Kau Makala, Wakau Madawa, Haka, Lataha, Hamatazarayim, Haka, Lahakrium, Hamathium, Haka, Arukawaf, Hatama Allah, Lagarishan, Ba Hashem Yahweh Shai, Thawada Aman. In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. The blessings, Barakatha Yahweh, Wa Yahweh Shai, Wa Mayaka'ala, Wa Alahayim, Mata Zabiya'a, Alawap Yahanna, Ha Alawapium, Ha Sarunium, Ha Quatazayunium, Ha Kalialyalium, Wa Aquafium, Yahweh, Ba Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Thawada Aman. And in the English, bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shai, and Michael, and the angels, commanding General Yahanna, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, thank you, so be it. Psalms 121, Asha'a Ayanya, Al-Hahayim, Ma'ayan, Yaba'a, Isaiah, Ma'ayin, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'aratazar, Al-Yathan, Lamawat, Regalka, Al-Yanawam, Shemaka, Hanala'a, Yanawam, Wala'a, Yayashan, Shawama, Yasha'ala, Yahweh, Shemaka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al-Yad, Yam Yanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'a Yakayaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamaka, Makal Rai, Yashama, Afnapashka, Yahweh, Yashama, Ataza Afka, Wabawa Ayaka, Ma'aith, Wa'aid Iwalam. Amen. And in the English, I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. So be it. Psalms 83. Alahayim, Al Damaya Laka, Al Thakarash, Wa Al Thashakwat, Al Kayahana, Awab Yaka, Yahama Yawan, Ra'ash, Ayal Aymaka, Ya Ira Yomwa, Sawada, Wayatha, Ya Ay Tazawa, Al Tazar Pawanyaka, Amawa, Lakawa, Wanakakidam, Magaya, Wala'a, Yazaka, Sham Yasha'ala, Iwada, Kaya, Nawa Ay Tazawa, Laba, Yakadwa, Al Yaka, Ba Yaf, Yakarathwa, Alahaya, Adawam, Wa Yashama Aliyam, Mawa'aba, Wa Hagayam, Gabor, Wa Imawan, Wa Imalak, Palashaf, Im Yashabya, Tazawa, Gom Ashawa, Nalawa, Aimam, Hayawa, Zarawai, Laban Yalawat, Salah, Aishalaham, Kamadian, Kasaya Sarah, Kayabyan, Banakal, Kwayashwan, Nashamadwa, Bayandara, Hayawa, Daman, La Adama, Shayathamwa, Nada Yamawa, Ka'ira, Wakazahaba, Wakazabak, Wakatzal Manai, Kal Nasayakamwa, Asha, Amawa, Nayavisha, Lanawa, Af, Na'awaf, Alahayam, Alahaya, Shayathamwa, Kagalgala, Kakwash, Lapanya Raka, Ka'ash, Thaba'aya Ya'ira, Wakalahaba, Thalahat, Hayam, Kantharadatma, Basa'iraka, Wabasa, Wapafka, Thabalaham, Mala'a, Pandyaham, Kwalawan, Wayabakwashwa, Shamka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Wayabaalwa, Aid, Waya Kapawa, Waya Abadwa, Waya Da'aiwa, Kaya Atha, Shamka, Yahawa, Labadka, Al Yawan, Al Kaha, Arataza, Aman. Keep not thou silence, O Yahweh. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, Come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines, with the inhabitants of Tyre. Asher also is joined with them. They have holpen the children of Lot, Salah. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Horeb, and like Zayeb. Yea, all their princes as Zabah, and as Zalmunna, who said, Let us take to ourselves the houses of the Most High in possession. O Yahweh, make them like a wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth for wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Yahweh. Let them be confounded and troubled forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the Most High over all the earth. So be it. And curses, blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shai, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses, and punishments and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses, and punishments and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose a treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses, and punishments and destruction to the Edomites, and the nations, and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, or the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Pastor the gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space programs, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Wall Street, open up the internet and the airways, the cable access channels and the radio channels, convict thee, spirit, of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh, Michael and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathens that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that it is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming in the name of Yahweh. Thank you, and so be it. Last prayer to bless Israel. Yahweh, Ba Hashem Yahweh Shai, Barak Lanawa, Wa Yashra'ala, Wa Habayaf, Sapayim, Barak Rapah, Magan Hagan, all of Israel, Ba Hashem Yahweh Shai, Thawada Aman. And what we just said was, Lord, in the name of Jesus, bless us and Israel and the school. Bless, heal, shield, protect those loved ones in the name of Yahweh. Thank you, so be it. And with that, class dismissed.